This is Mr. C. You're welcome to my YouTube channel once more. In today's channel, I'm going to talk about language. For those traveling overseas, one of the key factors that they really don't factor in is language. But why don't people really think about language? So when it's time to move overseas, we think about everything such as the economy, the job opportunities, and how beautiful the place is, but we don't think about the language. And why is that? But as you know, language plays a very important role when it comes to integrating in a new society. When it comes to communication, settling down in a new place, in a new country, the language is so important. It also affects the opportunity that you could have in a new country. And for these reasons, it is important that we learn a language even before you move overseas. For example, if you are in Nigeria and you think that in 3 to 4 years' time you see yourself moving overseas, so one of the things that you can do is you can start researching the countries that you most likely travel to. For example, if you're going to travel to Europe, you can look into Europe. What is the most prevailing languages in Europe? Or let's say what are the most prevailing languages that are widely spoken in Europe? So for now, you can have languages like I think Russia is a very widely spoken language, and we have a language like German, and we have maybe Spanish, and we have maybe Polish, and so on and so forth. So when you do your research and you make a list of this language, and then you pick one or two language to learn. So the good thing about learning the language before you move overseas is that it may be cheaper for you to learn a language in your country than when you are already in a foreign country. For example, here in Hungary, it costs as much as 5,000 euro per year and even more to learn a Hungarian language in a Hungarian school. And there are just few Hungarian institutions that teach the Hungarian language. And if you are to learn this language in a language school, it's going to cost even more to learn the Hungarian language. I know this because I was trying to really apply to study this Hungarian language, take the 1 year program. And while I did my research, I saw that there are just few universities that take the course. And it is extremely expensive, and the price is even up to 8,000 euro in a year. Trust me, you don't really want to pay this much to learn a language. And so this is why it's of your own benefit if you learn this language in your home country, or if you begin to learn this language in your home country before you arrive. For example, if you are in Nigeria now, to learn, let's say, German would not cost you that much. To learn Spanish would not cost you that much. To learn French would not cost you so much. You could even find a language school in, let's say, Abuja or in Lagos that would charge maybe up to 200,000, or let's say 250,000 for you to learn that language, compared to what you have to pay when you move in here. I mean, the difference is just so large. It's so significant. And so this is one of the reasons why it is important that you make attempt to learn the language in Nigeria. For example, I'm using Nigeria because this is my home country. Of course, you can be from Philippines, you can be someone from maybe Asia, any country, maybe Malaysia, Singapore, or even South America. So when you learn this language in your country, you get a head start. You give yourself a very great advantage, even over people who are living in the country for extended period of time who do not speak that language. This is why it is important. And also, even if you don't have the advanced level skill to speak that language, it's a very good way to start. It becomes easy when you finally move into the country to learn and brush up in that language. So now when you move into a country, so you want to settle down, and even if you move into the country as a student, someday you're going to graduate, and you most likely want to have a job if you plan to remain in that country. Assuming you move to Europe, and after your 3 year bachelor's degree, or let's say your 2 year master's, you most likely want to remain in that country. And when the circumstance is that you don't speak any of the languages, it becomes even harder for you to integrate. It becomes even harder. Of course, there are companies that offer jobs in English, but there are not so many of them. When you can speak that language, you increase your opportunity. You massively increase your opportunity to land a job in that country, because people, it's easier for them if you speak their language. You can communicate. It becomes easy to work. It became easy to work with a team. For example, I did my internship here in Michigan, and in Michigan, although that my team speaks English, they speak English, but they mostly converse in Hungarian. And I mean, the rest of the time when they are not talking to me, they are really speaking Hungarian language. You can imagine that. So even in other multinational companies that are here in Hungary, you won't believe they speak Hungary. That majority, in fact, nearly 95% or more of their employees are Hungarians and they speak Hungary in those companies. And these are English companies, or let's say foreign companies. So when you learn a language before you travel, you don't just only improve your communication ability, you also increase your job prospects, right? So you can have more job opportunities. You can easily communicate in that country, and you can easily integrate in that country. There are certain jobs that you might need to take a position for that requires you to know the language. For example, if you want to work as a postman in Hungary, you're expected to at least speak Hungarian in intermediate level, right? So that is an opportunity, but when you can speak Hungarian, now you cannot take this job. So this is why this video to this topic is very important. If you're in Nigeria and you see yourself coming to Europe in a year or in 2 years' time, try learning a language here. It could be French, it could be Spanish, it could even be German. Take, for instance, the Moroccans. These guys speak French, and when they come to Europe, the next thing they do is they move to France. And it's so easy for them compared to other Africans who don't speak French. Also, these French-speaking African countries, when they come to Europe, the next thing they do is they move to France and other French-speaking countries in Europe, Belgium and so on. And they integrate so easily. And for those who don't speak any second language or even third languages, in most of the times they struggle a lot. And now you have to learn the language and you have to study. It becomes really cumbersome for you. If you have to study and learn the language, it becomes really cumbersome. And sometimes a lot of these people, we just give up because it's just a whole lot of work for us, right? So I would say that the first thing you should be doing is thinking about the language of the country, not just the economy and the prospect of having a job and how much job opportunities you can have there. You should think about the language. Communication is so important. Even more so, if you're a parent, you should encourage your children to learn new languages. And you can even go as far as enrolling these kids in language schools to help them learn new language, because in the future it's going to really help them so much, especially when they begin to move from places to places. So as we know, language is a very, very important aspect of our life as humans, and I think we should place language on the top of priority list of the things that we want to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session today, and if you like this video, please leave a like, and of course leave your comment in the comment section. And if you have questions to ask, you can also leave your question in the comment section, or you can write me an email at contactmrc4@gmail.com, and please subscribe before you check out. And until then, see you next time. Peace. Ciao.